Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of Selenium training. In this session, we will be seeing how to handle web tables on a web page. So we will see an important significance of this web table in our automation. So what is this web table and how it is handled and what tests we perform on a web tables we will see in detail. But if you want to directly jump to the example, just forward the video. But I would recommend to know the basic if you are a beginner so that you can have a strong knowledge on handling these web tables. So basically what is this web table? Web tables are data tables used to display data in a tabular format. So again a tabular format is the one which contains rows and columns, and you have a column header and you have a rows followed by and you have a columns. So these web tables that are displayed on a web pages may be static or dynamic. Static mean always they stay static. They don't have interaction with the database and that application is a standalone or they want to display something which is static. Coming to dynamic content, it varies day to day or it varies based upon the refresh time that they have set for the applications. So for example, dynamic for dynamic you can take an example as in websites which has stock market. If you see the table of a stock market, it will be increased, decreased, and the companies which has more turnovers and it will be in the top. So that's an example of dynamic web tables. So coming to what we test on that web tables in real time, what actions you perform on that web tables. So you read headers of the table, you want to test that all the headers are as per the requirement. And also for example, if you want to get the rows, number of rows on that particular web table and again compare it again with the database count, then you will use these web tables. And two examples is to sum up any column. For example, if you have an amount and you have to sum up those amount, then you will use web tables for these validations. And also your requirement is if you want to get top 5 companies from a table based on a turnover column or an amount, then you will be using these web tables. So basically how to handle these web tables. So web tables, to handle web tables you need to be perfect with XPath mainly, because you have to do some iterations and this is a multiple elements that are captured and you have to iterate those. So if you want to know how to handle XPath and if you want to learn more on XPath, just watch my previous video on XPath so you will get some hands-on to work on these web tables. And once you capture the XPath, the other thing you have to use is list web element to store those elements into this web table, sorry, into this list web element. And then you will iterate using loops or iterator and you do some operations like counting the number of columns, counting number of rows and getting sum of uh, amounts in particular column, all those things. So in today's session we are going to see just a simple example. We are not going to do or go for a complex situation or complex logic now. We are just going to see how to find a number of columns and number of rows on a web page. So if you look at this picture, this is how a web table looks on a web page. You can see the last name, first name, email, due, website, action, right? So we will see how to find the number of rows. I mean, how many number of persons are there and how many columns are present in this table. That's the first part we are going to see. In the later session, we will see how to get the amount of this due and how to print these values into a console. Okay, so let me switch to Eclipse quickly. So I have my package here already. Let me create a class, web table example. So to show you an example, we have one application that we are already seeing in our previous sessions. Okay, let me copy that. So here you go and search for a table. Okay, you will be seeing sort data tables. Okay, and here we have two examples of data tables, one with no class or ID and other with class or ID attributes to signify groupings of rows and columns. So we are going to see in this example how to find number of rows and columns. Okay, so firstly let's declare our WebDriver instance, right? So let us copy from previous thing. Okay, we have to set up. Now let's take our URL here and let's give it here. Now this is my table, right? So right click on the table anywhere and just click on inspect. Okay, and just with inspect button you just click on this last name. So you can see here this is one tr, which means you can observe from the root this is a complete table, and you can see t head. So t head specifies the header, that means table column headers. And next if you take R, see I'm navigating to each and everything, so these are all called th, right? Th. And again if you come to the T body, again you have tr. So this T head is the headers and T body has the actual data. Okay, now we have to find how many rows, sorry, how many columns are present. Okay, for that we need to count how many THs are there. How many THs are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? See, the first one is last name, first name, email, duo, website, action, right? So we have 6 rows, 6 columns, right? So now what we will do is I'll take this th and right click and copy XPath. Okay, now do just Control F and paste it here. And now you, when you copy it, you have one. Th of one means only one first index is copied, right? Now let me remove this one. See how many you found? 6, right? So let me copy this XPath here and let me store it in one WebDriver. Okay, so I'll be storing it in a list. Call is equal to driver dot find element of by dot XPath of. So copy that XPath here. Okay, just close it, and here what you do is you import the list, import list from java.util. Okay, driver dot find elements, you have to put elements because we are finding number of rows, right? Sorry, number of columns, right? More than one element, right? Now what I'll do is take one integer variable, integer number of columns is equal to, okay, we already have a list, just called dot size, right? Now just print it system.out.println number of columns in a web table. Okay, just print this number of columns. Now let's run this program and see how much we get. Okay, just run as Java application. Okay, see the number of columns on a web table 6, right? So we have captured number of columns. Now let's see how to identify the number of rows. So it's the same logic basically, you don't have to do any other tricks here. The same way how you found the columns, just point out to any row, and you can see here inside the T body, right? Inside the T body we have TRs, right? See, TR, 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 TR. And if you observe this first name, sorry, last name, first name, this header column is not displayed in TR. Why? Because it's already displayed in a T head column. See, this is a T head, and inside this T body we have TRs. So how many TRs we have? One, two, three, four. So just right click here, copy, copy XPath, and just do Control F and paste here and see. So you are getting only one first row, right? Now let me remove this. Now observe. Now if you observe here 2 of 4, right? So you got 4 elements now. One, 2, 3, 4. Now let me copy this XPath. So in the same way, let me write list rows is equal to driver dot find elements of by dot XPath of copy XPath. Just close this. Now declare one more integer variable. Number of rows is equal to rows dot size. Okay, this will give you the number of rows which is stored in the list. Okay, now again just try to print that number of rows or records, you can say officially records on in a web table. So let me copy this number of rows, just paste it here. Now let's run this program and see how many columns and how many rows it retrieves. So this is very simple program. If you understand the basic thing of how to get number of columns and rows, then it's very easy for you to get the data out of these web tables. So as this session, you just practice this program very carefully, and in the next session we will be dealing on how to get the amounts. So if you see here, we have this amount, right? So we will see how much total this displays, and also we will try to figure out what is the maximum number of uh, amount due for a particular person. We will check that also, right? So yeah, that's all for now. This is part one, and in next session we will be discussing with some data, printing data on the console and doing some basic tests like finding the maximum amount and the persons. Okay, so have a nice day. Thanks for watching, and please give your suggestions and feedback in the description. Thank you.